Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, is in that other box right next to me. He's Andy Asimakis. How are you, Andy?
We have, I think, celebrity A-list material on the show this week.
Is that right?
This is like the big-time celeb.
Big times.
It's a huge deal.
Is it?
Huge.
Is it, Andy?
I think
it is. I think this might be one of our biggest.
Could be.
No pressure.
Definitely up there.
No pressure.
Right. Not at all.
Indeed. Joining us this week is Celia Schilling, social media and marketing manager for Yacht Club Games. That's right, Yacht Club Games. The Yacht Club Games, creators of Shovel Knight and the developer of the best games you'll ever play, including Cyber Shadow. Celia, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Indeed. Again, no pressure. Just, you're kind of a big deal around these parts.
You are. You really are.
For those of you that are new to the Dual Screens podcast, it's very simple. You're listening to the Dual Screens podcast, the world's #1 indie developer interview podcast, probably. Everyone in the gaming industry, be it a programmer, an artist, a voice actor, they all have a story to tell, and we want to be their platform to do so. The show posts each and every Friday for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including our home, Podbean. And of course, the video version of the podcast goes up on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. If you like what you hear, get it? If you like what you heard here, there we go. Please listen to our other shows right here on the very same channel, both on YouTube and audio-wise. We do Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast, a video game news show that we think you would love as well. And if you want to give us your hard-earned cash, if by the end of this episode you're like, damn, I want to support those dudes, they're doing some great stuff over there, you can. You can go to patreon.com/NDS podcast, and there are all kinds of options for you to explore, and we just revamped it for the new year, so please go over there and check it out. We are giving an absurd amount of content for just $1, so go check that one out. All right, so let's dive right into the show. Let's do the thing right away. It's time for the lead-in question of the show. Andy, take it away.
So, Yacht Club Games, Shovel Knight, kind of a big deal.
Big deals. Big time stuff.
We could talk about Kickstarter stuff, selling a bajillion copies of the game, your publishing efforts. But I really, truly want to know, why is Shovel Knight in everything? Why is he in everything? And what does it cost? Because, Celia, I have...
Hold on. This is going someplace, Celia. If you thought this...
I have $4 in my pocket. I have a meeting on Monday. Can I get him in that? Can I get Shovel Knight in my morning meeting on Monday?
That's a very good question. I think if you wanted Shovel Knight in your meeting, I don't know how to answer that. I'm like, you could just put him in your corner of your screen for free. We also have digital downloads on our website. So you can do that and keep your $4, maybe buy some coffee so you're extra alert for Shovel Justice in your meeting. So those are some free options. But for anything else, I
actually, it's kind of piggyback off of that.
Sure, go ahead.
It's kind of amazing that Shovel Knight has become what it has become. Like I see Shovel Knight really is in everything. I have the Exceed card game. I have a bunch of Shovel Knight packs of that, like decks and whatnot. And so when a character like that comes around, what happens first? Is it the character starts to gain interest from other places that are asking for Shovel Knight? Or is it you think Shovel Knight is worth so much and is such a great character that you go out and look for shove Shovel Knight into a bunch of things? Like, how does that work? Which comes first? Which one's the chicken? Which one's the egg?
Okay, so licensing is a very interesting dance of two parties, the licensee and the licensor. And it is a two-way street. So I can't think of an opportunity where we reached out in particular, but keep in mind I'm fairly new to the Yacht Club Games team.
Sure.
But in other cases, people that would want to license out Shovel Knight have reached out to us. So it's a two-way street. Like when the world's normal, there's conventions where people just go and talk to each other about putting their character and or IP in something else, and it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's amazing how much power that has.
Have you seen the list, like the complete list of what he's in?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Like, I can understand some of these things, Rivals of Aether and Aegis Defenders, Bloodstained. I get it.
Okay.
Cook Serve Delicious.
Yes.
Cooks are delicious. Yeah.
What?
Former guest of the show.
Shovel Knight likes snacks. Okay, why are you hating? In Road to Redemption, Shovel Knight rides a motorcycle. Why are you hating, buddy?
It's just, I would love to see these emails come through. Like,
I mean,
I have a baby simulation game. We'd love to get Shovel Knight in there to be like, the nanny in our game. Yes, please. Go right ahead.
Well, Shovel Justice, they could learn at a very young age. It'd be cool.
I mean, you're approaching kind of an icon status with the character, like you don't, some places might like protect their IP a little bit more. Like Disney's known for that. Like they give you guidelines how to use their characters. What kind of discussions are had internally with protecting Shovel Knight? Like, are there a lot of discussions of, oh, maybe that's not for us or something like that? Or is it kind of like, oh no, this is great. We love to see Shovel Knight everywhere.
So it's a little bit of both, honestly. Like, of course we are protective of our IP, but we also have a pretty open video policy, so people can make fan art, and we encourage it. We share it on Twitter. I love seeing it; it's so awesome. But in addition to that, like people make fan games, and our video policy states what we're okay with and not okay with, and we're pretty open. As for having actual cameos in games, it depends also. Like, we get so many and we're pretty hands-on, so we do provide feedback on like making sure like our character is still Shovel Knight, like they're not changing anything, like getting rid of one of his horns or taking away his shovel. So we try to make sure that it stays pretty on brand, anything we do get involved in. But the team's always like open. We're just checking out what's on the horizon.
It makes me wonder, what have you guys turned down before?
I was just going to ask that.
I don't think that's nice to say, but it's not.
Well, what was like, nah, we're gonna.
It doesn't have to be a specific example, but like maybe just like they wanted to use Shovel Knight in a specific way, where you're just like, no, that doesn't work.
Right.
No, I think it's just case by case, because like let's say if like a collaboration had to be tweaked slightly, so it looked more brand appropriate, but. I think it's usually like our bandwidth, to be honest. Like, are we able to give attention to this project? Because a lot of love and care goes into everything that we do. Even like the smallest, tiniest things, like we care about like every little pixel perfect detail. So for that, it's bandwidth and like,
So you guys do like an open collaboration with that? Like you're actually putting a lot of work into those different uses. More so than like I picture it like, okay, here you're licensing the IP, go do your thing, send it to us, we'll approve it. But you guys are actually doing some work with the other licensees.
It depends the project, and also it's not like we're coding the game for them. Oh my gosh!
I know.
Like
excessive.
we're gonna have enough. But like the thing is though, is that for it, like, we'll say like, oh, this is our brand guide. And, we like to have, a certain scale of things. And this is how they should be portrayed, usual brand guide stuff, super boring. Anyways, and then when we talk to licensor, like it's a back and forth, licensee for there's like a whole background, like back and forth. I can't talk today. Process where, we go back and forth of whether we're okay with it or not. And usually like it looks great. If we agree to work with them, of course it's because we trust them and we like it. So it's a pretty active process, but also it's not like we're too hands-on with it.
Awesome.
But what would the $4 get me?
You can look at the Shovel Knight pin for fans by fans available.
Got it.
There you go.
Okay, $4, please.
There you go.
I'm just gonna
wait. Each. I wasn't in on this. I saw it too. Man, you just made $8.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm cutting myself short. $8, please, sir.
Whoa.
I don't even get a discount. What is this?
They love you.
Oh man. So Cyber Shadow. Let's talk a little bit about Cyber Shadow.
Let's get into Cyber.
Go ahead, Andy. You lead us off here because you reviewed the game. The review is doing excellently on our YouTube, youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. You can check that out.
What a journey. So for those who don't know, this game, a 10-year journey to, from where it began to where it is today. And Yacht Club Games stepped in, I think, 2 years ago, maybe even further back than that. 3 now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was it about this game that you guys said, we want this under our banner? What was the moment that it was like, yeah, this fits in with what we're all about at Yacht Club Games?
Okay, so it's actually kind of a funny story. So, log 3 years ago. Whoa, such a long time. Actually, it is. Oh my gosh, I feel like everyone blinked and it's 3 years later.
Well, this last year was 8 years. Yeah, this last year was 8 years. So
it never happened. So yeah,
I feel like I've aged. I have a whole beard now. Okay, but like, so basically what happened was that RNA had posted some like screenshots of the game on Twitter. And one of my colleagues, David, was hanging out on Twitter, looking at cool games, doing his usual social media thing. And what happened was he saw the game. He's like, wow, like, I want to play that. Like, I love platformers. And we're pretty collaborative in studio. So he showed everyone else. I was like, wow, like, this looks really good. And we're like, oh my gosh, yes, it does. It's like pixel art and it's retro style and like the music sounds great. Like we have to be a part of this. And so it was kind of like a group effort of it, like appealed to us, like the art style, the story that RNA had revealed at that time, just everything seemed to fit kind of like a puzzle piece with what we like enjoy ourselves as gamers, not only as like developers, but as gamers as well. And we were getting more into publishing. We're like, why don't we reach out? And so we did. And so David messaged RNA and then he was like, hey, you want to work with us? We can publish you and we can, offer all these things. And he's like, no. And we're like, oh, okay. And basically the reason why he said no to us wasn't because of us, but initially he had a no publisher role. And that's because like there can sometimes be a stigmatism with it or a stigma where people think that sometimes publishers will like take your game and then package it how they want to and throw it out in the world and, good luck. But the thing is, though, is like once we started to express like what we'd actually do for him and be able to assist him and having a fine tune and polish of his game and help putting it out in the world rather than changing his vision, he was like more keen on it. He's like, oh, you'll do that? Okay, now we're in session. Like, let's do this. So it's been a really fun collaborative process for the past few years.
When you're picking projects like that, like outside of just kind of how this situation seems kind of like atypical, but like do you have, when you're dealing with a developer that has this stigma about publishers, do you have a certain guidelines that you use for those type of developers where you might say, hey, take your time, when it's done, or do you still have kind of those milestones that you want to hit as if you were publishing something from a larger team?
So I would say a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Like our requirements for RNA is you have to put out the game eventually, please. Like you have to make a game. It's been almost 10 years. You need to put it out, sir. And I feel like since like games are such an art piece as well, like, always as an artist, like it's not ready. Don't look at it yet. But I guess it was kind of one of those things where we like at Yacht Club Games, like we don't want to just make games you love, but we want to make you love games. So for that, like that's our philosophy, like as a whole, and because we're gamers ourselves. And so when talking to RNA, who was not keen on it at first, we were open and transparent with him of like who we are as publisher and as developers and as gamers ourselves. And once he realized, it's like, oh yeah, okay, you're cool, like we can work together. Then it worked out. But it's all those things where like, telling him like we have to publish you or else, I mean? It's a two-way street. Like it's a relationship. If he didn't want us, then that's okay too. Like we would have played his game regardless. I would have bought it day one. Actually, I would have bought it with the pre-order because $5 cheaper is awesome.
What does a pitch like that look like? I'm sorry, Andy. I'm just curious. What does a pitch like that look like when you are pitching a developer like this? Like you talk about how you tell them about your gamers too and stuff like that. But what does the actual pitch sound like from that?
Ooh, well, that's very difficult and a very case-by-case basis. We're very hands-on studio, so it's kind of one of those things where we're not going to cookie cutter our pitch deck for you, because this is like we understand that the game is this person's child. Like it's their art, it's a part of their soul, it's their passion. So we're not going to be like, hey, hello there, sir or madam. Would you like to put the fate of your game in our hands, please? Like it kind of be one of those things where you reach out as a human, introduce yourself, and be like, hey, like, let's talk more about this and let's see what your goals are. And let's see if this makes sense for us to work together. But regardless, we think you're awesome and we want to play your game.
And we'll pay you a whopping $4.
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine if he was like, it's going to take me at least 10 more years to finish this?
You're like, Arnie. We'll talk to you later then.
That's great. Best of luck to you. Warmest regards. Yacht Club Games.
No, it's more of those things like once you have a like a launch date, like once you've given a date, like that's the deadline you need to hit.
Sure.
Was that ever part of the conversation? Like, why? Because 10 years is a lot. Well, we'll say 7 years before you guys actually stepped in. But it seems like a long time for a game. We've had games with much broader scope, graphics. I mean, larger teams, obviously. But did you ever ask what's taking you so long to like finish this thing, or to get at least where it was at that point?
Okay, so for this, I think when people hear like almost 10 years, they're like, "Oh my gosh, he is
Exactly,
sitting in a dark room, just
like,
typing
right.
away." The thing is though, is that that's since its inception. Like 8 years ago or 7 years ago or however long, RNA drew Shadow on a napkin and was like, "Ninjas are cool. I should do something with this eventually." And that's like the starting point. That's where we gauge it. Like literally, I'm not kidding. And the thing is though, is that after that, like a few years later, he's like, "Oh, I was like playing with around with like retro style. Like that'd be awesome." And then hits the 5-year mark and it was like, "Oh, I guess I'm doing this now. I should probably focus on it." And then it goes through the process. Then
Right.
3 years ago, when it hit that like the I think 7-year mark, it's like, "Oh yeah, like I met these cool publishers. I guess we're really doing it now." So it's kind of like that. So
Right.
yeah, it's not like
napkin,
he's
by the
sitting
way.
there in a hole for 10 years.
I need that napkin. I want it.
Selling on eBay. It's gonna cost more than $4. So
God damn it.
yeah, sorry.
So, as the social media and marketing talking head over at Yacht Club Games, give us, what is the pitch for Cyber Shadow? Give us the whole spiel.
Okay,
As
you
it
ready
were.
for it? Are you ready?
We're so ready.
Okay, drum roll. Okay, so, okay. Cyber Shadow is a 2D pixel perfect ninja themed action platformer that pays homage to the like 8-bit style of gaming with an added convenience or two. So that is the marketing sentence pitch for the game, which is true. It has an added convenience and it's very difficult. Much like
Yeah.
the 8-bit era of gaming.
We should have a little asterisk for, and it will totally wreck your balls every chance it gets.
And then there's another asterisk and it's like, "You gonna die."
But you have so much fun though, every step of the way. I think it's a testament to why these games can be so successful, is if you can match the art style and the soundtrack and the gameplay, and it all comes together in a very specific way with a very set amount of conditions, you don't mind the death too much.
Yeah.
Because you're learning as you're playing and dying over.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like what we like to say is that there is a challenge that goes along with Cyber Shadow, but it's not cruel. So it's like not unfair. Like it's just not going to kill you for no reason. It's going to kill you because you didn't see the bug coming. So it teaches you about the game and how it like the level hazards work like combined with enemies. So it's a learning process and there's a curve there.
And that's totally a philosophy of game design in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at the old school game design, a lot of it was born out of limitations. And when back in the day, you didn't have the opportunity to teach a player, okay, this is the button that you press to move forward. This is the button that you press to jump. Where, back in the day, when you saw the first screen of Super Mario, there was no hazards. It was just you on kind of off center to the left. And you could tell, okay, he's facing the right. I'm going to press the right button and he moves. And then the next little screen scrolls and there's a little dude, a little Goomba that you didn't know what it was, a little mushroom person going towards you, and then it touches you and you die. You're like, oh, okay, I'm not allowed to touch enemies. And like, that's how it taught you. That was its tutorial. But at the same time, there's also secrets. There's a tunnel there, you could go in the caves and, or the underground, whatever it is. And you're learning the game through that first level, and it teaches you absolutely everything you need to know about that game in that first little screen, essentially. And I feel like Cyber Shadow does something very similar, but it takes it and kind of puts it in these little chunks. Like every enemy that you come across, you learn something about a new mechanic of the game. Your power ups, you're learning something new every time you pick something up. But the fundamentals are there. It's jump, hit, and avoid. Like that's kind of what you need to know. Those are the fundamentals of getting you through and progressing through. And I think that's really a really smart design that gets lost in kind of the new games where it's all about flash and holding your hand and, you know, pausing the gameplay just to teach you something about the game that you wouldn't otherwise know.
It's such a turnoff.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Breath of the Wild, right? Like, yes, I have problems with that game, but one of the things that is not wrong with that game is how they drop you in the world and nothing is foreign to you. Like, you understand how the world works by playing with the world, and you don't feel like you're punished in that. And I think Cyber Shadow does that, obviously on a smaller scale, being, you know, 2D and being a platformer, not just massive open world. But it does that very similarly. And I think that's what gets players who do die over and over again and want to throw their controller out the window. It keeps them moving forward because they understand more every single time they play. They put their hands on the controller and they interact with that world.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That was a great analysis. And I'm like, you're getting all the things.
All of the things you said are correct, sir.
Yeah.
And interview.
Would you like my job? Is my follow up to that.
No, I've seen what you guys have to do at conventions. I'd much rather do what I do at conventions. I'd rather be the sweat hog going up to you like, let me see game. Game.
Why should I love game? You tell me. I don't know why I'm rushing when I said that.
Oh my God, is this 2019? Is it still reminiscent?
Me have 4 times. Me have deodorant. Me no smell bad.
the before times.
The before times at conventions. Oh my gosh.
Well,
no, but on an actual real note, I love conventions. It's actually one of my favorite parts
we absolutely
of my job.
adore it. Absolutely.
And it's one of the reasons that I got into marketing, actually. So I love them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I think about this game that really grabbed me was there's an actual story to tell here, and there's lore, and there's a world, and it's amazing how when you come across articles that say that there's pages and pages of story that aren't really in the game, but it's all in the design. It's here's my Bible for what this game's world is, who its characters are. Now, let me just select a few things and put things in the background, put things in subtly or even not so subtle ways to sort of communicate that. I think that's lost on a lot of games that are of this 2D simple sprite-based nature. You think, okay, it's an old school game, it's hack and slash, it's jumping and slashing. How much depth could there really be here? But there's surprisingly a lot of depth with this game. It actually caught me off guard a little bit. Like,
really?
I didn't think I'd be that invested in these characters that are made of pixels on a screen. But by the end, I was like, that's really good. It's like really, really good.
You know what's even better? Yeah, that's only 25% of the story.
Yes.
Cyber Shadow. Yeah, it was really awesome.
Madness.
When I was talking with Arne and we were making the character profiles for the characters. We shared them on social media. On social media in the Xbox Wire blog most recently. And the thing for that is that, like, I remember I was like asking him, like, can you tell me some more, like, spoiler-free, like, details about Shadow? And he's like, yeah, like, so Shadow, you know, he has a sensitivity to essence. And I'm like, yeah, we know that. And he's like, yeah, and that's what made him, you know, go on a journey of solitude because he didn't want to get corrupted by people, corrupting his essence. And then that's how he met, you know, he went to the dojo. He stumbled upon a dojo, which was Master's dojo. And, like, goes into all these, like interesting lore. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much I need to know. So now I feel like I want to keep on making character profiles so Arne will tell me everything and I'll be the keeper of marketing secrets.
And when he was 5, his dog ran away.
Yeah.
Its name was Skittles.
I see, as a production person, like, we're looking at it through the eyes of a producer or whatever, like, I just see dollar signs with that. Like, you have somebody that has such deep lore and thought put into that like that IP can go anywhere. That IP can be a comic strip. It could be an anime at that point. You could do prequels, sequels, crossovers. You could do spin-offs. Like, the whole world is your oyster when you put that much work into the lore of this for lack of a better term, simple game. Like, like that's kind of mind blowing. And that's a testament to you guys at Yacht Club having that eye to see that talent. Cause you're not just publishing a game, you're publishing that person's work. You're publishing, everything that person has worked on outside of just the pixels you see and the sounds you hear, That's awesome. That's great. That's so cool. I can't like Shovel Knight. I can't wait to see Cyber everywhere.
Oh my gosh, thank you. We really appreciate that. We'll have a Cyber Shadow theme park coming soon. So
yes.
Don't worry.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh my gosh. I think on one of our streams, so fun fact, side note, Yacht Club Games, we streams occasionally like on Twitch. And like the most recent one we did was we were playing Cyber Shadow and we're like, oh, who would voice the characters? And, I like to imagine the operator, that guy. I like to imagine that his voice would be done by Gilbert Gottfried because I think that's hilarious.
That is like the biggest juxtaposition I ever could imagine. That character has such incredible dialogue, and I can feel like there's like a menace behind those words, but to have like this grouchy comedian delivering like, oh, I can't even imagine it. It's
beautiful. And that's why I wouldn't be in charge of casting. But
I have news for you though. I have news for you though.
Yeah, no, it's like, oh my god.
You can get on Cameo, and you could get him to do some lines for you for a few $100.
Oh, he is on Cameo.
He's on Cameo. I guarantee you. He's very cheap.
He's very cheap. It's not $4, but it's definitely.
Oh yeah,
he's definitely bargain priced.
Then R&D, then RNA C&Ds me like basically like after I do that.
So, the game is out. It's getting amazing reviews. I can imagine sales are equally amazing. What's that been like for the team, seeing this 10-year journey coming to a close and just seeing all the praise, the gushing, the love? What's that been like for RNA and for the team? So
for the team, we're so happy and proud. Like, RNA put his heart and soul in this. Like, he solely developed this game, and the hard work is so obvious in it and how beautiful it is. And like, we're happy. We're like proud parents, coworker, friends. I don't know. And then for RNA, he's so happy. It's his child. It's going in the world and it's doing well and doing things. So yeah, all of us were really happy and we're really pleased with the reception, and we're very thankful for the community for supporting it.
See, now the issue is the game is almost too good that I would imagine people want more of its universe and its characters. Is he, after a 10-year journey, is he more like, all right, I'm just gonna like buy a yacht and just hang out for a little bit with all this new money I have? Or is he just like, all right, what's the next thing? And maybe I shouldn't take 10 years to make it. You just leave napkins around his desk so you can start now?
Oh my God, I should, but he lives in Finland, so it'd be a very expensive napkin drop-off trip.
This is true.
But
this is true. I'm sure there's a Finnish Postmates you can use.
You're right.
Something
Maybe
like
I should.
that.
Okay, no, Arne needs to sleep first and foremost. He is so tired. He's worked so hard.
Sure.
Yeah, he needs a nap. But after his nap, like, who knows the future? Like, depends his mood, I guess. But right now, there's nothing in the pipeline. But if there ever is, we'll announce it on our social media pages and website. But right now, nap time.
And he has you guys, more importantly. He has that really good support system. Because, for all his work, you guys were there, pushed it across the finish line. Now it's like, whenever you're ready, buddy, we're here to make magic again. Just let us know. And that's going to happen hopefully soon.
What was his response to the way you guys were handling everything? Like, we know how you gushed about him. Were there any stories about how he reached out to you guys, how happy he was, or, whatever about everything? Is it a situation where like you're his publisher now? Like, is it a developer thing, or is it just by game basis? Is it just Cyber Shadow? How's your relationship now that you're at the end of the finish line, so to speak?
So just because the game's out doesn't mean we're going to end support for it. Like, I have so many things planned marketing wise for this game.
Okay. Yeah. Long-term stuff. Let's do it.
I'm seeing plushies galore. I'm telling you right now.
Top of the list, Dual Screens podcast. Scratch that one off. We did it, you guys. High fives all around the office. We did it.
Okay, so no merch announcements as of yet. But I want one. I want all of them. I would love a giant worded Cyber Shadow plushie too. Yes. Oh my gosh. I just want everything. Let's just make it happen. Cyber Shadow House for sale now. Okay, so and as a relationship, it's very positive. He's very thankful with us, and I don't know. Arne and I talked today. Like since we're working still in the campaign together, like I bother him about stuff all the time. Yeah, he's taking a mini little home staycation away from the computer this weekend. So I told him I just bother him on Monday. So I'm like, talk to you soon. So yeah, we're very pleased together.
So good.
How has it been? I mean, you just released this game. We're still in the middle of COVID. The last year of this game's development happened during COVID. What was that like? Obviously, he's halfway across the world already as it is, but now you have this added kind of obstacle in the way. What were the challenges there for you guys?
I think the challenge that I noticed the most, and I think Arne would agree with me, was with QA. When I say QA, I mean beta testing. Mm-hmm. So for that, usually you have the beta testers and they come into your office and you have to see them play and you can ask them questions like, oh, why? But since obviously, times have changed, the world is not doing that great right now. So we're unable to be in person. So it's basically, we're at the mercy of like, can they record their gameplay for us? Are they going to type up everything they thought in that moment, or they'll change their mind later on? So it's harder to get that initial response and feedback about it. And I feel like that was the biggest challenge for us for 2020. But in general, like, because of the times, like, it makes everything like a bit more difficult. And like, my heart goes out to like everyone having to deal with this.
What was it like planning out that strategy of having to change that on the fly, of how you're going to get feedback from the beta testing and all that stuff? Like, what were those meetings like?
Me being like, hey guys, we had a meeting. We're like, okay,
we got to figure some shit out quick.
Yeah. So we're going to do a usual, send out the email, check. We can do that normally. B, like we'll make a form instead. And so there was a lot of coordinating between me, Adam, who's our QA lead, my other colleague, David. Like, so it was like a team effort of us making sure that everything was good, coordinating with operations and Shannon. And like, literally, like, we're collaborative as it is. So it's not like more people had to jump on deck. It's just that's status quo of how we work together. So we made it work. It was challenging, but we did it.
Sure.
We got to get on that QA tester list, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
It has to happen at some point. I feel, you guys aren't around the corner, but I'll fly there to play whatever you're cooking up next. Okay. Just putting that out there for you, Celia. Just
I'll accept your bribe. Don't worry.
Okay. But you know what I'm going to do.
You already robbed us of $8. Now look at this.
I'm
My goodness.
At his shelf, I see like there's a Pikachu thing. There's Meat Boy, Angry Birds. You got a lot of cool stuff there, buddy.
He does. He does.
Yeah, she's like, give me $4. I want the whole shelf behind you.
You should see his Seattle poster. It's great.
Oh God.
You should see that.
Yeah, I should.
So, aside from this game being out and amazing, you guys have some other awesome stuff in the works too. And I think really, goes without saying, Shovel Knight Dig is high up there on my most wanted games.
That game's awesome.
My entire life, because it looks amazing. It's Shovel Knight, but not what we're used to. It's got so much depth now and detail.
You said depth about
I know I did it. I'm trying not to do I don't want to do puns.
You're a punny man, you know that.
Dig into it. We're listening. We're all ears.
Mm-hmm. I dig it.
Don't bury the lead. Go with it.
Yeah.
When can I play this? When is it a thing? I don't know.
So Shovel Knight Dig is currently in development right now. We have no updates as of yet. Stay tuned to our social media pages and website for further updates about our upcoming games. I just made that up right now.
I love
that. Was very good. I could see. Yeah,
it's like
worth
a switch,
the money. That's for sure. You're worth the $8.
I heard a little switch go off in her head. Like, this is the voice I use when I give the PR speak answer.
Mm-hmm.
My operator voice. Do you like it?
It's very good. Yeah. It's very good.
You should just get Gilbert Gottfried to do all of your messages.
I know. Oh my God. Wouldn't that be funny if I just mouthed it and it was just Gilbert Gottfried? Oh,
Steven, we have to have.
We have nothing to announce at this time.
Steven, if he's really that cheap, and we're in need of a channel trailer for our YouTube page, so I'm just putting that out there.
These morons are great.
Do you like video games?
He voiced one of my favorite cartoon characters, Iago. I'm just saying. Just saying, there is crossover there. There's crossover appeal, Andreas.
How can a voice be so grating yet so
soothing,
memorable, and so charismatic?
I think it's suspension of disbelief. I think it's like Bobcat. Like Bobcat, his voice isn't like that. Like that's a character he does, but he's done it for so long that like you have to suspend your disbelief. You have to say, okay, no, that's him. And I think it's the same thing with Gilbert. It's like, no, he's just that. That's who he is.
It's like, when you eat ice cream and you get the brain freeze and you keep eating more ice cream because you're an idiot. Because
that's marriage.
Right, exactly. It's like I want to hear more of Gilbert's voice, even though I want to
Stockholm syndrome
driver through
something
my head.
Like that. Something like that. Oh boy!
So, video game. That's what the show's about.
Yeah, that's where we are. That's
not about D-list comedians.
Take it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Oh boy! Oh, I did want to ask you guys about the game is also on Game Pass. So, what was that conversation like between yourselves and Microsoft? Did they offer you the more than $4? Was it just like a satchel of money that they drop at your desk?
It was a satchel of money. You know that.
That's how I envision it.
They just sent us a giant Xbox shape.
It was one of those fridges. They sent you like, here's 5 Series X fridges.
He's like, you see those fridges? We'll put you in there if you don't accept. No kidding. Okay, so I'm kidding. Okay, so I don't think I can actually disclose like the conversation.
No, listen, whatever you can say with a light touch. We've
had some guests on here that it happened both ways. One was like Microsoft approached them. Another one was they kind of just met at a convention and they started talking, and then boom, it happened. Like, how did it happen with you guys?
So for us, we have a pretty close relationship with Xbox. Like I email with our contact occasionally whenever like there's new opportunities that arise. So what I can say is we have a very healthy relationship with them, and we're very thankful for all the support that they've given us.
Absolutely.
That switch, it went off again.
They should give us support.
I totally heard it.
He said switch. I like winked. I'm like, what?
But that's because I feel like a game like this doesn't need that platform to succeed, because if you look at it, it's going to get gobbled up regardless. But then there it is on this platform where it's now you have no excuse not to play this game. I feel like everyone should try this game at least once. There's no reason why you shouldn't try it and love it and hate it all at the same time.
And without Yacht Club, this game might have just like dropped on itch.io and like got a tiny little cult following.
Oh,
no. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it could have just been one of those things where it was like, oh, you got to try this game. It's really great, yada, yada. But like now it's on Game Pass and it's in the zeitgeist. Like every conversation I've had, like we're in the indie game scene. We know a lot of people that cover indie games. We know we have a lot of people that play indie games and yada, yada. And like the game's everywhere. It really is. It's one of those things where people are actively talking about this game. It's not just something that they happen to stumble across. It's in their face. And I think that, again, that's a testament to what Yacht Club can do. And even when we first bumped into the game, it wasn't even on purpose. Remember, Andy? Like we were at PAX East. We had covered Yacht Club games before at PAX. We had a good relationship with the team running the booth over there. And all of a sudden they had this kind of little screen. And they're like, hey, you want to see something? Like, yeah, we do. And like, check this out. And we're like, oh boy. And they're like, yeah, this is a game. And we're like, oh boy.
I was like a little bit proud.
That was amazing. That was awesome.
I kind of go into Twitter and look for stuff like Cyber Shadow on a regular basis. And I've been following him since before he became part of Yacht Club with this whole collaboration. And when I saw it there, I was like, holy shit, you're working with these guys on this game? This is gonna be good.
Indeed.
They're gonna be magical. And it was.
Do you have any plans to put that soundtrack on vinyl?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
That'd be so cool. So as of right now, there's no plans in the pipework, but if it ever changes, we'll be sure to let you guys know.
I mean, that'd be cool. Not that I have an actual vinyl collection or anything, but like,
don't matter.
I just feel like that those chiptunes always sound better on vinyl.
Listen, it's all about just crap on my wall. I have like the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack on vinyl, Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack on vinyl. Clothes in
Nightmare on Elm Street, like the movie or the game?
Yes, the first. Well, it's a good soundtrack on the game, but the first film has a really amazing score.
I have never enjoyed a single horror game soundtrack in the 8-bit form. Like those sounds are just so obnoxious. because they just use all those high-pitched squealy sounds. They're very scary.
You could actually listen to, I'm forgetting the name right now, but so Enrique Martin, the composer for Cyber Shadow, he actually, in his previous work, he did this one game, I think it was like a zombie kind of themed game, I think. No, I might be misremembering, actually. Never mind. I'll send you the soundtrack. It's really good. That's what I'm getting at. Okay. But also, I know he did another one. I think it was a horror game. I might be jumbling everything. My brain's just all Cyber Shadow. So I think I'm attributing everything to Cyber Shadow now. But yeah, check out his soundtrack. He's really good. And then I'll send you the other one. So, but they're out there. They're out there. Don't worry.
It's time. And did you have any more questions before we get into rapid fire?
Yeah, no, I feel like I'll just gush some more because I love this game so much. I just wish there was more after I finished it.
I actually have. I do have a question.
Ooh, go ahead.
Who do we got to speak to about getting one of our review quotes on the box? Does it cost more than $8?
Ooh, yeah, probably. How many soundtracks are you going to buy if we ever make one?
All of them.
Just kidding.
Too many, likely. I'll do a whole wall.
Most of them.
Build your house out of them. I want you to get an industrial amount of soundtracks. Kidding. Or that, I don't know. We don't have.
I don't even know how that works.
Planned. I don't know. So.
Oh man,
sorry, buddy. Trying to kill your dreams now.
For someone named Schilling, you should appreciate what we're trying to do here. Okay.
Indeed. I know. You would think. You know what's funny? You're the third person in my entire life to ever mention that. Congratulations.
Yes.
It's funny. I found out that my name sounds like the word, like you're shilling something from a YouTube comment 2 years ago.
Wow.
And you work in social media and marketing. Your life is shilling.
This is wonderful.
It just worked out that way. It wasn't planned.
It's wonderful.
No, listen, it's all, there's a grand design, Celia.
There is a grand design.
I know.
You have to just go with it.
It was fate. Isn't that funny? I found it from a YouTube comment. Okay.
All right. Switching gears now. This is where we get to know you. That's right, Celia. This is all about you. This is rapid fire. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and we want your best off-the-cuff answers for them.
Okay, go.
And we're going to start it off with one of our more famous questions. Would you rather have the power of flight or invisibility?
Okay, so I feel like the reason that I would have both is for the same reason. So I feel like I would go invisible. Reason being, because I say like silly stuff all the time. Like, oh, that wasn't the right time to say that. And then I could either fly away or I could turn invisible. But the thing is, though, about that is I'm scared of heights. So like I get scared if I go too high on a swing. Okay, that's my level of like
I'm there with you on that one. Yeah, sure.
So I feel like invisible would be better, but I'd have to go to Edna Moe for like clothes that also turn invisible, like The Incredibles.
Fair.
See, you see, Steven, it's not all about committing crimes when you go invisible.
Let's just say I learned a lot just now.
You did.
Let's just say I learned a lot.
Thank you so much. A pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes, because that was my first pizza. Fun fact.
Wow.
Wow.
What a wild way to start your pizza career.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I was at my Uncle Peter's house. We were playing like the Star Wars N64 game Pod Racers.
Great game. Yes, of course.
Yeah, my Uncle Peter ordered pizza, and it was pineapple pizza from Domino's. And so that's how I remember.
From Domino's, no less.
Yeah,
wow.
Literally.
I feel like at that point you have to love pizza because it's a Domino's pineapple pizza. If you love that,
you have the capacity to live any pizza.
But like I was a very jazzed like 6-year-old.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Y'all are hating, but
no,
like, yeah.
There's no hate here.
He's
but
all about that.
You are talking to two New Yorkers, so
right.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I've committed sin.
Goodness. I mean, I order Domino's every now and again, but to be your first slice and it's pineapple, and I am a supporter of
snobs, but we are pizza snobs.
No, yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right. You're putting on your shoes, your socks and shoes.
This is my favorite question ever.
Are you sock, shoe, or sock, shoe?
I am sock. Where's the other sock? Oh my gosh, I thought I had more socks in this drawer. I'm going to just, who needs socks? Let's go flip-flops. I can't find my flip-flops. Going back to the sock thing. Oh, they're in the dryer. Of course they're in the dryer. At least I'm glad I washed them. Sock, shoe. Okay, let's go.
I'll just stay inside today.
Yeah,
I'm going back to bed.
I tried. All right. You come across an old woman and a baby drowning in a pool.
Oh my God.
Which one do you save?
Okay, so for that, I'm gonna be like, how adorable is the old lady to the baby? No, I'm kidding. Of course you save the baby. And then you save them both. Why do you have to pick? Why are we jerks?
Listen, it's just the way life is, Celia.
It's your it's your gut reaction.
You know?
Your gut reaction is,
well, like, I feel like
baby.
the baby would be lighter than the lady. And so like,
yeah.
But I'm really horrible at swimming. So I feel like we'd all just,
we're all fucked, basically.
Yeah, basically. I jump into,
Find a fourth person to save us all. That's what we're going to go with.
All right.
Steve, go ahead.
The apocalypse has happened.
I love it.
You are
It
trying
really
to
has.
survive. What cyber shadow weapon are you taking with you? You can only take one.
swag blade.
That is the answer.
That is the answer.
That is such a yummy weapon. I don't want to like derail this segment, but few weapons in the game arouse me whilst I use them, and that weapon does wondrous things for the below the equator.
Andy,
region.
I think we found our box quote.
Goodness gracious.
Yes. And now it's on video, so it is now a verbal binding contract.
It's canon. It's canon.
I'm kidding. We don't have a physical release plan. It's a
Oh,
imaginary
you know
box.
you do. Where are those gays at? Those guys at Limited Run Games. All right. Let's see. Oh, if you had the power to shrink one thing and take it with you, what would it be?
Can I unshrink it, or is this just like one?
Yeah, it can come and go as you.
Yeah, you
it's
can
just it's only one. It's one thing you can do.
You got that Ant-Man tech.
Reverse it anytime you want. It's just there's this giant thing I want to take with me all the time. I'm gonna shrink it and just.
Okay, so this is just going from like a childhood place. I would love to be able to shrink my car, like a motorcycle or something, just like Capsule Corp's capsules in Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
Like Bulma would always throw one, she's like, oh, or like in Dragon Ball, for example, she'd throw one and be like, oh, let's go. And I always thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I'd be like, why don't we have that now? Well, there's a lot of reasons why, obviously physics for one. But anyways, that'd be so cool. So let's do that.
Okay.
100%. I'm with you on that. Coffee, hot or iced?
Iced, because I always burn my tongue. I always put I'll make coffee, like I was drinking coffee right now, and I'll put an ice cube in it because I can't handle hot things.
Would you rather have your skin change color based on your emotions, or tattoos that would appear on your body depicting what you did the day before?
That's a very good question. I feel like my skin already does change color because I go from like deathly pale to like pink really quickly. If I go outside, that's what happens. I'm like a lobster. So I feel like I would mix it up and pick the tattoos, because the tattoos would just be me eating food.
That's like Maui,
playing
right?
video games.
That's pretty cool.
I'm into that.
I mean, that would reveal a lot about you,
Right.
Like, what are you doing here? What is that? Just you lying down?
Like,
is that
are
all you
eating a
did
block
yesterday?
Of cheese
yes,
again?
correct.
With a
Stop
knife?
calling me out. I do that.
That is exactly what I did. That is exactly. Did you wait? Hold on. Is that cheese pre-sliced? Yes, it is.
She
It is
eating the ramen from the package with. Okay, sure. Yes, it is crunchy, I guess.
I guess you guys know me very well because that's what I do. Do I have the tattoos already?
This is the insight we have. Listen, so, Celia, it's been 3 years we're doing this, Stephen and I, so we know what makes you people tick.
We do. We do. You got to be a certain kind of crazy to do what you do.
Right.
It is what it is. Sweet or savory?
Ooh, that's difficult. I like both. Both. I'm not picking.
Fair.
All right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Is cereal a soup?
Huh. I've never thought about it that way. I feel like no, because it's cold, but then cold soup's still soup. I'll eat cold soup.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I guess yes. I guess yeah.
Sure.
Why not?
I just have to say, Stephen, this question, I love how it's always, I've never thought about it before, and then hearing the answer, and I love that little pause. Like, it's such a deep philosophical question of
because everyone's first gut reaction
like,
is
holy shit.
No, it's cold, and then like, wait a minute, that argument doesn't hold water.
Yeah, I feel like I pondered that more than the child old woman question.
I mean, no. Listen, the child's got to get. The child could be the next president. You know what I mean? Like that old lady,
Right.
she's done her job in life. You know what I mean? Like she's fine. She's fine. She's seen some shit. The family will grieve for a little bit, but that kid could
dude.
be anything.
Could you imagine being that old and like you go out?
That's how you
drowning?
go.
That's the worst way to go.
You lost out to a baby. You lost out to a baby.
Like I made it all the way to the end. I'm gonna drown.
I mean, I don't know.
I would hate it. That is a raw deal.
Whose question is it? It's my question, isn't it?
It's your question.
What is a weird habit that you have? This is one of those weird things you do that you can't really explain.
I do a lot of weird stuff. I eat a lot of things cold. Like I just won't heat it up because I didn't grow up using a microwave, so I'll just eat it cold. And people were like, "Why are you eating the soup cold?" Yep. And I literally, when I said, "Well, soup, it's cold, so it's not a soup," and I literally thought to myself, earlier I ate squash soup cold because I didn't want to wait. Another thing, does having anxiety problems count as a habit? Because I feel like that's
maybe, yeah, sure,
yeah.
I won. I never wear matching socks ever.
Okay.
I think
on purpose?
Yeah, I just don't. I think it's lucky to not wear them. I don't know why. I feel like it's like me just coping with I never match the socks together. I just throw them in a drawer and then that's my life. So yeah.
I'm gonna backpedal for a bit to the sock shoe question.
Oh boy,
so in that scenario, when you're trying to find the other sock and you can't find any other sock.
That's why they're all in the dryer because I lost them and then I'm proud of myself.
It's not just I have to find the matching sock. It's where are all the other socks?
I have to find a sock.
Yeah.
So not only okay, we're getting a real like look into your life here. So you wait until you have literally no socks left before you actually do the laundry?
Oh my God, you're learning about my life.
Is that what we do
So
here?
I want to let you guys in a lot of little secrets.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
please.
So I have enough clothes to not repeat like a combination outfit for like a really long time.
Wow.
So right now, I'm glad this is cut off camera. I have like a pile of laundry. I have a big laundry basket.
Sure.
A pile. And then like at the end of like, it's basically like a pilgrimage. After like the end of like a month and a half, I take all of the clothes I wore and then wash them all. So when I was doing my scenario, I was imagining that it's near the end and I'm literally out of everything.
Wow. So is it like Christmas? Like when you like finish washing all your clothes and you're like, look at all this stuff I could do.
No, it's like, look at my stuff. Isn't it neat? Like the little mermaid, but it's like shirts and sneakers. Not really sneakers. I don't know why I said sneakers. But anyways, that's just kind of how I work. It's one of those things that I want to make sure that if I buy a shirt or a dress or like whatever, like I'm going to wear it. I don't like wasting clothes or having them if I don't wear them. So this is how I make sure, like at the end of, ever so often, like when I do a clothes clean out, it's like, what were the clothes that I picked the least or like always save to the end. And then it's like, well, then from that point, I should probably donate those items because I'm not the one enjoying them. Someone else should.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's my philosophy.
Is it your turn, Andy, or is it mine?
I think it's my turn.
Go ahead. I got a couple more and then we'll
trying to think here. What would you, because Shovel Knight has been in so many games. If you had to pick for the next collaboration to have Shovel Knight in the game, what would that game be?
I don't know. I've been asked that before, and I feel like my answer is silly, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I feel like
you like silly.
Like a JRPG or something would be really silly.
Oh my God.
But like a Persona one, because it's partially
if Shovel
like
Knight was a Persona, that would be great.
That sounds like the most dope ass shit ever.
That would be so cool.
Shovel Knight as a Persona.
Yeah, it's like, wah, and like the person's like has like a bucket on their head and they take it off and then it's Shovel Knight.
Oh my God.
Or something. Like that's how, because they normally rip off their masks. Well, depending what Persona game, they do other stuff too.
That would be the most sick voiceover too. With a Japanese voiceover actor doing the voice of a Shovel Knight.
Oh man.
I am here for that.
Oh man.
I would love that so much, but that's in my dreams. And I also recently replayed Persona 5. I did a 100% social link run. That was just schlep and took hundreds of hours. But yeah, anyways.
You are, I think, easily my top 5 favorite people. Because that's commitment, and that game is amazing. And to see all that, I know what it takes to get through that. And I did it twice for both 5 and for Royal, because I was like, yeah, I'll do it again. Just to see what this is like, and I have so much time on my hands.
All right.
Your question.
Shovel Knight is in Mortal Kombat. It's happened. You're in the Mortal Kombat universe. Shovel Knight is a character. The team is trying to brainstorm. They can't figure it out. They need one more fatality. They come to you. Celia, give us a fatality. We need one. What is Shovel Knight doing to kill dudes?
Oh man, like it kind of wouldn't make sense because this is more of a King Knight thing, but whistling and calling propeller rats. Ooh. And they just come in.
That is, that came really fast. And
you've been thinking about this.
The most perfect thing.
Thank you.
Because it kind of, he remains wholesome, Shovel Knight.
Yeah, all the other ones do the bidding for him.
He just called some rat friends over. Which,
Got it.
Yeah. And they're really hungry, and he didn't have any snacks.
Sure. Right.
Not his fault.
He ate all the cheese.
See, I was thinking like he jumps up, he does like a couple of spins, and he hits the shovel right on top of their head. Their head, it does the X-ray vision. The head goes through their body, out their butt, and then he goes behind them as this is all happening, digging a hole, and then they fall into the hole, and then he buries it, and then puts a little rose on top or like something.
Oh, well, if we're going gory,
I mean, it's
okay. Then the finishing move is Shovel Knight. The scene where they're like, catch her, and he's like reaching for Shield Knight.
Right, yes. Right.
They're falling, and then he just doesn't catch them. Anyways, I don't know. He's like,
whoops. Fatality.
Yeah, that's
apathy.
That's a good stage fatality. Like indifference.
Those hurtful kind of indifference.
Like the hand reaching out and is like, nah, I'm good.
All right, Andy, take us home. Give us our last question of rapid fire.
Oh, okay. Is it last?
Oh, it's the last.
Then
the last.
Oh no, we're having such a good time. This question always ruins everything because it makes life so very awkward. Celia, this is the last question. It is the most important question of not just podcast, but also your entire life. So dwell on it for as long as you need to, but not that long. Don't take 10 years is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
to answer this question. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It is a single choice question.
Yes.
We've accepted, cop-outs before, but I'll just lay it out for you. And whatever your heart tells you, however your essence best guides you to answer this question.
Very nice. Okay. Bringing it back. It's nice.
Yes. Celia, the question is as follows. Andy or Steven?
Wait, I have to pick between you?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, well, this is easy.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the reason for this, I'm going to give a little disclaimer, is that I'm looking at you, Andy, right now.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Steven doesn't have a camera. Like, it's so much easier to say no to people when you don't see them.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It hurts
That's
less.
my answer. Yeah, it hurts less. I can't see your sad, disappointed eyes.
I get it. I understand.
He's a good-looking dude.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rectify the situation next time. Next guest, okay. I'm getting my other.
This is the ego at play here.
I can't keep losing to you because of this technicality.
Exactly.
This is all bullshit. It's horse shit, and I've had just about enough of it. And don't worry, next show, folks. I actually, because this show, we're recording this way ahead of time, actually. Right. So I may get
a win.
I may have already rectified this situation, but mark my words, this shit ain't going down anymore. I'm not using this as an excuse.
Is that when I'm not picked, I feel like, because I'm a garbage human, so
it makes sense when you're not picked. It doesn't make sense when I'm not picked.
Right, exactly. And when I'm picked, it's like, oh, hello, fellow garbage human.
I get it.
Come join the club.
I get it. Folks, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. If you want to follow us on social media, on Twitter, we are at duel_screens. On Instagram, we are at NDS Podcast. I'm at Batchhall27. Andy's at Pantsky. And our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/DS Podcasts. If you want to join our Discord, it is exclusive to our Patreon supporters. So you can go to patreon.com/NDS Podcast, and just $1 gets you into our super secret VIP Discord. If you want to follow us on Twitch, we're twitch.tv/duelscreensstreams. Celia, where could everybody find you? Everybody find just all of the projects, just the everything. Here's your chance. Tell everybody.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so you can follow Yacht Club Games on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as Twitch at Yacht Club Games. You can also find out more updates on yachtclubgames.com. If you want more information about Cyber Shadow, you can go to that website or cybershadowgame.com. If you want to follow the creator, Arne, you can follow at Mechaskull, it's Mecha with a K on Twitter, as well as the composer Enrique Martin on Twitter, and he's at Pentadrangle. And I really hope everyone enjoys their ninja adventure when they play Cyber Shadow. You're going to die, but you're going to have fun. And yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
This was fantastic. Folks, thank you so much for listening to the show. We will be back at it again next week with another indie guest. Celia, thank you. Andy, thank you. Thank you again, folks. And as always, please be excellent to each other.